The truth about travel is it's a bell curve, meaning that it starts off in the planning and preparing for the trip and the dream, the excitement, which is starting to rise. And as you get closer and closer to taking off, whether you're going to travel in a plane, on a train, on a cruise, in an RV, the planning and the takeoff is the acceleration. Okay. And what happens is after about 2 to 3 weeks, you kind of plateau or peak out, and then you start to crash. Meaning, if you are traveling for more than 3 weeks, you begin to disrupt your daily routine so much, your eating habits, your sleeping habits, your core foundation of your routine. Remember, humans are creatures of habit, not creatures of adventure. If you disrupt that for more than 2-3 weeks, what happens is you disrupt your whole core. Maybe you'll get out of shape physically, emotionally, mentally, etc. And once you start to crash, you yearn to go back home. Now, for most people, that's when they go back home. Most people take a 2-week vacation, sometimes a 3-week vacation, but that's max. And some people have been a nomad. I've been a nomad, and you travel, even though I've kind of traveled with a purpose and strategically. That's the same pattern I've seen for people who travel. And that's why most nomads eventually get a home base, because you build up all the excitement on how you're going to travel, what you're going to travel with, the takeoff, a little bit of the exploration, and then you peak out. However, it doesn't mean you shouldn't travel. It's like when people use the word peak out, that's not a negative per se. Why? Because that's just a cycle. You'll cycle back up again, but to cycle back up again, usually you go back to your home base, right? Because the value of travel is experience. Experience does help develop you and refine you and give you great perspective when done well. And everyone's an individual. Some people are very much, travel is part of their DNA, right, per se. And for some people, they're homebodies. That's part of their DNA. And I've kind of been both to a certain extent. So I empathize with both. I don't judge. You're on your own journey, on your own timeline. But I'm saying from my experience, after a certain point, whether you're on vacation or you're full-time traveling, you get burnt out, and thus the value for the home base. And you'll see it even with maybe people you admire on YouTube or your friends is they'll say, I remember talking to people who had a home, they said after 2-3 weeks on a cruise or 2-3 weeks somewhere, they're ready to come back home and get away from people, because it also disrupts relationships, because you disrupt yourself. And the other thing people I've seen that are full-time RVers is they talk a big game. They live out of this RV, they live out of that car, but they go on the road, they get all worked up, and then they bring their ass right back to their home base. Why? Because of this. And this is what you need to remember. But you need to experience life for yourself. So I'm not here to dictate how you're doing it. I'm here to share my perspective on my channel. Okay? I thank God. And I hope this video helped you in some way. I understand life's not easy, so do what you want. Just leave me alone. I love you. Thank you.